You're watching Toyota Sports Extra with Pierre Nugent.
And we're going to get to Pierre in just a moment for a wrap-up of today's game first. And we're going to take about 30 seconds to update you on the weather. And you can see it's still lightly raining in the valley. Light rain as well up in the Sierra. Flood watch continues through Wednesday afternoon. We're still expecting 2 to 6 inches of valley rain, 7 to over 10 inches of rain for the foothills and Sierra. Several flood warnings out throughout the region. These are all river flood warnings, which we will detail coming up in just a moment. And as you can see, it's a bit of a break right now. But we've got another wave. It's a heavier wave, wind and heavy rain moving in tonight through early tomorrow. We're going to highlight it all coming up right after Pierre, who's in the studio live with us right now. Pierre, what a game.
Monica, yeah, thank you very much. Welcome to a special edition of Toyota Sports Extra right here on ABC 10. The big story of the day, the Oakland Raiders back in the playoffs for the first time since 2002. It's a game you saw right here on ABC 10. Oakland traveling to Houston to battle the AFC South champion Texans. The Raiders playing shorthanded. They're down a starting quarterback in Derek Carr, a backup quarterback in Matt McGloin, and a starting left tackle in Donald Penn. Not the way you want to go into Wild Card weekend, but that's the hand the Raiders were dealt. And the rookie out of Michigan State, Connor Cook, making his first ever NFL start, and he certainly looked like a rookie at times. Jadeveon Clowney's interception of Cook turns into points for the Texans. Lamar Miller off the left side runs into the end zone for the game's first touchdown, and the Raiders quickly find themselves in a 10-0 hole. Later in the first, the Raiders battle back. Great piece of running here by Latavius Murray as they move the chains, and later in the drive, Murray gets rewarded for his efforts as he gets Oakland on the board from 2 yards out, cutting the Texans' lead to 3. But the Raiders secondary, perhaps the Achilles heel of this team, gets burned by DeAndre Hopkins. Great grab down inside the 5. And the drive ends with a Hopkins touchdown reception. The Texans would take a 20-7 lead into the locker room at the half. No scoring in the third quarter. We go on to the fourth. A costly pass interference penalty here hurts the Raiders. David Amerson with a tug on the jersey of DeAndre Hopkins, although it looked like there was some infraction on both sides of that play. Nevertheless, it results in a 1st and goal for Houston, and Brock Osweiler punches it home from 1 yard out. Texans push the lead at 27-7. Then signs of life from the Raiders offense as Connor Cook engineers a solid drive. Touchdown connection here with Andre Holmes for the score. Raiders on life support. The defense forces a 3-and-out. Oakland would get the ball back. Cook going to work again, but on 3rd and 10 from midfield, his pass to a wide open Amari Cooper sails, hides, tipped, and picked off. That'll do it. The Raiders season ends this afternoon in Houston as the Texans win 27-14. A tough way for the season to end for the Oakland Raiders. 12 wins in the regular season to see it all go to waste in the wild card round. Injuries certainly playing a big role for the Oakland Raiders. As for the 49ers, they're at home watching the playoffs after a disastrous 2-14 season. Earlier this week, the Niners interviewed Bills offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn for their head coaching vacancy. Yesterday, the team interviewed Falcons offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan for the same job. And today, we add one more name to the list of head coaching candidates. Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels is the latest candidate to be interviewed for San Francisco's head coaching vacancy. McDaniels has head coaching experience in the NFL. He previously was the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Ironically enough, part of what led to his dismissal as Broncos head coach was McDaniels illegally filming a 49ers practice when the Broncos and Niners were set to play a game in London back in 2010. The Niners coaching search is expected to continue next week. All right, staying with the wild card theme, over the NFC, the other playoff game happening today takes place in Seattle as the Seahawks welcome the Detroit Lions. CenturyLink Field has proved to be a house of horrors for the opposition. The Seahawks have never lost a home playoff game there. Meanwhile, the Lions have never won in any of their visits. So the odds certainly appear to be stacked against Detroit. The Lions come into this game as losers of 3 straight. Seattle, meanwhile, not exactly looking like the juggernaut we've come to know them as, finishing the regular season 3-3 in their final 6 games. One storyline to keep your eye on is the return of Lions wide receiver Golden Tate to Seattle. The former Seahawk was part of that Super Bowl winning team a couple of years ago. He then bolted to Detroit, and while he says he has no regrets, he did think he was going to be in Seattle for a long time.
I thought they wanted me back. I thought I did everything I could, help them win a Super Bowl, and was in the community, was a good guy. But you know, it worked out. Hey, I'm happy where I am and excited about the future of this organization, and hopefully I'm here for a long, long time.
We know how to win. I think that's the first thing. I think second of all, it comes down to the relentless commitment to each other, the relentless commitment to the work and the studying, and that's the part we enjoy. So it's a new opportunity. I've always said every game's a new game. Every opportunity, every playoff game's a new opportunity too as well. So we're looking forward to it. We know we have a good football team coming in, the Detroit Lions, and they got a lot of great players, and so it'll be a great game.
That game kicking off in just a matter of minutes. We'll have an update on that game later on tonight. One person very interested in that game is the husband of our own Christina Mendonza, who's a big Lions fan. I know he'll be watching.
Yes.
I know you'll be watching pretty eagerly, too.
We will both be watching, definitely.
Yes.
But my heart is with Raider Nation tonight after such a great season to have the wind taken out of their sails by those injuries.
They'll be back next year. They will be back and one of the favorites in the AFC coming up in 2017.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Pierre.